Hi, my name is James McQuiggan. I'm the Chief Executive of Mid-North East Essex Mind. I'm here today with Luke, who's the Vice Captain of Colchester United, which is great to be here with you. Thanks for taking the time out and kind of having this conversation with myself.
No, it's a pleasure. Anything I can do to help you?
Fantastic stuff. Really appreciate it. I mean, anyone watching this might wonder what it is that we're doing. Well, as your local mental health charity, it makes sense for us to have a partnership with our local club, which is Colchester, and that enables us to support the community to hopefully improve their mental health and well-being. Such an important thing, because when you look at it, 1 in 4 people will suffer with a mental health problem at any one time. It's a statistic that's used quite a lot, but I think it helps really kind of paint the picture of what is really happening there. So yeah, kind of sad. It's not all doom and gloom. There is some positive stuff that's going on as well. On the 2nd of February, it's Time to Talk Day, which is actually the biggest conversation the nation will be having around mental health and well-being, which is absolutely great. It helps. It's an opportunity to kind of reduce that stigma by having a conversation, which is what we're about to do in a moment, and open up that dialogue around mental health.
Yeah, and it's obviously a fantastic initiative that, fortunately, I've been a part of it in the past when I was previously at Ipswich, but it's something that's fairly close to my heart, having seen the transition of sort of the football where it is today and where it was 20 years ago. So I've sort of been through that and seen the growth of social media, and obviously football as an example, footballers in general, they're sort of an isolated part of the society sometimes when it's just sort of all fingers pointed at them, and it's like, where do you turn from there? So it is close to my heart, really.
And to tie in with the Time to Talk Day, you've got an up-and-coming match where we're going to kind of do a takeover, and we'll have our staff there, and they'll be able to continue the conversations around mental health. So there will be people available on the day. We're also there's a competition that is taking place where there's a hospitality. I might as well start again. So a hospitality package for 2. Which is a fantastic thing to provide. So we're really looking forward to it. For me, it ticks all the boxes. A great game of football, prizes, and better education around mental health. So it can't be a bad thing.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely brilliant. And like you say, people love a competition, and if you can get obviously the Colchester fans involved and a chance to have the hospitality experience, even better. But 3 points alongside that would be awesome as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you've got to do it. You will do it. So yeah, I mean, one of to answer your question, I mean, you've been involved in football from, I would imagine, quite a young age, and hopefully you've seen some changes in attitudes towards people's mental health, certainly within the football kind of arena. And in addition to that, I suppose more recently we've all had a tough time over the last 2 or 3 years. How did that impact kind of you, the club, your teammates?
Yeah, obviously everyone has been through such a tough period, and shows you the resilience, especially of, I think, our nation, that we all got through it together and found a way to come out of it with a renewed optimism and sort of a clearer path that we all want to have really in our lives. I think being able to have people on the end of a screen wasn't what we all needed, but that helped us through it. But like, it's sort of, I think it's got people to reconnect, to think a little bit more coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
To really see what we need to be as a society. I feel like we are tribal beings, and that's sort of come away from it. So I always think that I always try to be as open as possible with my teammates, with my family and my friends. So I think the lads know that I'm there for me personally. I'm always trying to ask them how they are, and I think that's really important, that we just ask people how they are and not just take, yeah, I'm alright as an answer. It's like, actually no, are you okay?
Having that honest
conversation.
Yeah,
it's just not like a throwaway, yeah, I'm good. When you know, sometimes there is stuff going on, and if you can ask that deeper question of like, no, are you really alright, mate? Like, how's things? What are you up to? What's going on? It's definitely helped me to talk personally, my personal experiences, and everyone that I seem to speak to is echoed that you need to talk, and the stigma from you've got a big boys don't cry and all that. Do you know what I mean?
And that was something I was going to ask you, because again, kind of in recent months, kind of the last couple of years, there's been more kind of men come out and say, this is my experience of mental health, and how that's impacted on them and their family and their friend network. So the question to ask you, do you think, and there is stigma around mental health, but do you think there's even more stigma around a man kind of being able to talk openly about that?
Well, you mentioned the statistics. The statistics don't lie. There's a big problem for men in general in terms of that mental health issues and suicides and rapes and stuff. So yeah, it is. We've always been taught culturally to just get on with things and man up and all stuff like that. But it should be no different to anything. Everyone should be able to voice their needs, their opinion, how they're feeling, because at the end of the day, how do you solve something that no one knows about or no one hears about?
Exactly. And funny enough, there's a thing that they say, if you want kind of a guy to kind of open up and kind of talk about kind of his emotions, how he's feeling, is go to a football match. Because you're sitting next to somebody, you're not making that eye contact like we're doing today, and you're focused on something else as well. So sort of, there is a benefit from football, not just for those playing it, for those watching as well.
Definitely, and then obviously you're in an environment where you've got things in common.
Yes.
So even that trust issues, you're going to watch football with people you like, friends, family, that you feel comfortable with anyway, to be in a social environment. So, like you say, when you're not focused, sometimes it is hard when someone asks you how you are. It's very difficult to people to actually open up without the fear of the emotions overcoming them, getting upset and really just pouring everything out. So the trust that you need between friends, families, that you can have a common goal when you go and support a football team is huge. And these social interactions are what we need as a society, because I feel personally we've become so detached from our neighbours, our communities, that there is a real need for us to reconnect with each other and, like I say, our communities, calling on your neighbour, stuff like that. I know it sounds a little bit corny, but
I couldn't agree with you more.
Something that we're so far away from.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we slid backwards, didn't we? There was so much great work happening before the pandemic, and it does feel like we've gone a little way back. But I completely agree. I support what you're saying, and yeah, what better way to do it than go and watch a game of football? Yeah,
definitely. So what you're doing and what's going to be on offer there is fantastic, because at the end of the day you can always go to football and it seems to be the same experience, and you'll see the same players, you'll see the same staff, you'll see the same stewards, you'll see the same supporters. But if there's always a different presence there, like yourselves, that you're going to take over the day, what fantastic added level to the experience that you can have there. Do you know what I mean? Because there's different people. Oh, you're new, what are you doing? And the interactions just open from there, really.
Yeah. Kind of one sort of last question really to put to you. If you could say anything to the Colchester United fans about what we've been talking about, kind of mental health and well-being, what is it that you would say to them?
Yeah, just don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to voice your feelings, because at the end of the day, we become so focused on our own issues and problems. There'll be another 10 people out there going through something similar to you. So once you open up to someone else, they're more than likely to open up to you and always be there for you. So for me, just talk more, express how you feel. No one's going to judge you. It just is what it is.
Yeah, great. That's it. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you're really, really busy. Thank you to you, the club, and everything that you're doing to support us and raise the profile, not only of the organisation, but of mental health in general. Thank you.
Pleasure. Brilliant.